I'm Miles. I got the chance to talk to Sukhmeet Sachal, founder of BreakTheDivide.net, Vantage 720, as well as one of Corporate Knights' top 30 under 30 sustainability leaders of 2019, about his work. Here's our conversation. I want to get a sense of, in your own words, what aspect of leadership and change making you are most widely known for.
I think for me, it's more so about empowering youth who are striving to make a change in their communities but don't really know how to. I think being an immigrant and having come to Canada in 2002, I was bullied a lot for the way that I looked, for the way that I talked with an Indian accent, and for the food that I ate, and all those things. And growing up, it was very tough for me here, trying to find someone who is relatable to me and trying to find opportunities to better myself. And so I took it really upon myself to get better at speaking, whether that was being enrolled in the ESL classes or outside of school, taking part in debate or speech, even though I knew that I might not have been good at the time, but I always knew that I had to improve. And so for me, it's always been about improvement. And now that I have that platform where I've worked hard over these years and tried to make a difference in my communities, I really want to just give that forward to the younger students who will reach out to me and try to help them out in their leadership journey. So for me, it's really about the concept of giving back, which is the most important.
If you had to pinpoint, without really putting a name on these people, like who would you say are your people, and why exactly would you say these people are your people?
I think for me, it would really have to do with a lot of high school students. And because I think in high school, you're in a transition period where you just came from elementary school. Now you're in a whole new world where you feel like you belong or you don't, and you find cliques or not. And I think for me, it's all about getting people to talk with others who are not the same as them. And they wouldn't really have a chance to talk with them if there were not conversations around it or groups formed, such as clubs, that can really bring people from different backgrounds together. And so even when I was in high school, that was my aim, was to really get youth from different backgrounds towards a common cause so that, they have a chance to at least talk to each other and build up on ideas and really contribute to the community. And that was something that I'm really passionate about. And so all the work that I really do really does involve high school students, and it's starting to involve elementary school students as well, where now a lot of youth are reaching out from marginalized communities and being like, how can I help with this cause, or how can I be involved? After seeing the work and honestly getting recognition from organizations and getting the name out there, youth are able to contact me now and see the work that I'm doing and how they can be involved in it.
And could I get you to elaborate a bit on what that looks like in terms of if a youth were to reach out to you and see the work that you're doing, like what exactly would it look like for you guys to work together?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the benefits I have is my brother is 7 years younger than me, and so I have been able to help him develop as a leader, and now he is, I think, even better than me in terms of the service that he's doing in the community and around the world. And so, for instance, a lot of my brother's friends that were in high school, or even other youth from other schools, they used to reach out to me. And so I would have a conversation with them around what their goals are. A lot of the time when youth reached out to me, they were like, can you give me advice, or could you guide me to the perfect path? And my simple thing was that, honestly, like, the best advice I can give you is to follow your own path. Because I think that's the best way to explore the things that you like, the things that you don't like, the things that make you out of your comfort zone. And so through these conversations that I have with the youth, I think they feel empowered after that to make a change. And I think that can help them move you into action. And so one of the biggest things is really about youth just trying to get out of their comfort zone, and I think I help with that process.
Now I want to get a sense of what values you hold closest to you. So to specify, I guess, if I could get you to pinpoint either one or two core values that at the very least you try to live up to on a daily basis.
Sure. So I'm a Sikh, and in my religion, the concept of seva is very important. And seva essentially means selfless service through compassion. And so I think that is a core value that I've been raised with since I was young, and it's something that I still try, or at least try to instill within my life every single day. Of course, everyone has their bad days, and you're thrown off from certain things, and no one's perfect. But I try to live up to the standard of really trying to help others through compassion and having a smile on my face when I'm doing it, and not expecting anything in return. And I think that has been something that has really helped me to become the leader that I am today.
What did that look like for you in terms of to date being able to be motivated to act on those values?
Honestly, I think it's just how my parents have raised me, is to really just be kind to people and to live your life in help and serving others. And so I think the religion was a huge part of that. And growing up, maybe I didn't understand it because as a Sikh, you wear a turban, you don't cut your hair. And so for those reasons, I was bullied as a child. And my parents really just continued to remind me that religion is way more than the way you look. It's more so of how you feel, how you hold the values in your life. And so if I hold the standards now, I think it has really helped me grow as a person. Just those values of compassion and seva. And so now for instance, my brother and I were walking a red carpet in November at one of Canada's largest award ceremonies. And being the only Sikh there and wearing a turban, I think it was a sense of pride for me as well, where when I was young and I moved to Canada, I was bullied for the same reasons. And now I was at one of Canada's biggest events where I was recognized with wearing turban. And so for me, that was a very monumental moment in my life. And I just realized that if you don't give up on your values, people around you will accept you for who you are.
What kind of future do you want to make in the world, let's say by the end of 2020? And I know that's a relatively short timeline, but I want to get a sense of more so what role you see yourself in making that future happen.
For now, I am in medical school, and so this year at least, it's really about me trying to build those important and critical patient-physician relationships, where I learn from physicians about how to be not only just a good physician taking care of patients, but someone who is culturally sensitive, someone who knows how to recognize patients' problems or what they come in with, more than just so the medical aspect, but rather so how can you incorporate the social determinants of health? How can you incorporate the larger scale into the patient's life and seeing the public health aspects of it? I think it's so important to not dwindle down on exactly what the diagnosis is, but rather see what the patient came in for, their surroundings, their background, and see how we can help them even outside of the medical office. And so in 2020, I really wanted to be a year of just growing as a person, where I try to embrace as much as I can and learn as much as I can, and in the process, help individuals as well. Again, through my organization, Break the Divide, and also my startup, Vantage 720, I want to continue expanding those so that I'm making a difference around the world as well as for myself.
If we were to extend this timeline, let's say 5 years down the line, where do you see yourself in 5 years, if it were to be professionally, personally, geographically, or all of these, or some of them?
So I think professionally, I would be in residency. I would be a resident, and I don't know what specialty yet. We will see. Personally, I want the next 5 years to again just be full of being an open mind where I try to embrace as much as I can, learn from different cultures and backgrounds. And one of the things I really want to do is, as a resident, I want to travel and really help out communities in especially marginalized populations, specifically in the Arctic, working with Indigenous populations, something that I've been passionate about since I was young, and really traveling around the world and seeing what impact I can have.
I want to get a sense of what content or literature that you've taken in, whether it be like a book or a podcast, that has been truly pivotal to simply the way you go about your life in general.
Well, one of the, I guess you would call it a book. So again, one of the main fundamental books in Sikhism is actually called the Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, which is considered our living guru and our teacher. And so this book is full of all the principles and values that you should be leading your life by. I think that's a huge component in my life. And in terms of a podcast that I've been listening to recently, one of them is White Cove Black Heart. And that is something that really transcends what medicine is all about. And it's about encompassing compassion and care in medicine and seeing how you can really help patients on a different level than just them coming into the office. And like I discussed before, more so about how we can make medicine better, more equitable, helping marginalized populations, and being very culturally sensitive when taking care of patients. And so I think that's been something very interesting for me these days.